Hi, you're watching AniVerse English. BM1 Gang sneered. Seems you've grown arrogant since fraternizing with that bastard son from the Sook family. But understand this sooner rather than later. No matter how hard the dregs struggle, it's all futile. With those words, he shifted his sword backwards and lunged forward. Du Jiyun reacted. He's fast. Just as I expected, he's not all talk. However, he deftly evaded the attack and reflected. What young Master Sook said was true. His movements. I can anticipate them. But suddenly, BM1 Gang launched a surprise attack, causing Du Jiyun to retreat. As he lay on the ground, he remembered Sook Jinho's words. Why did none of your attacks land? The young master wasn't even utilizing internal energy. Sook Jinho explained, it's about where you direct your gaze. It's fundamental. You, the young master himself, where is your focus? Du Jiyun pondered, my focus? Of course, I'm watching the young master. Sook Jinho corrected, that's incorrect. You've been fixated on the tip of my sword. Du Jiyun questioned, but isn't it necessary to anticipate the attack? Sook Jinho clarified, it's not just about anticipation. Sook Jinho responded, once the sword tip moves, it's already too late, especially when facing someone stronger than yourself. BM1 Gang interjected, so your best strategy is to dodge like a rat. Undeterred, Du Jiyun stood firm. BM1 Gang may be a master above me, but I've learned to anticipate his movements by observing young Master Sook for days. A person's stance reveals their center of gravity, and the torso movements indicate the direction of the next attack. When strength is applied to the shoulders, the attack follows. It's now. With determination, he charged forward and launched his attack. BM1 Gang didn't anticipate the counterattack. Blood spewed from his waist as the sword pierced through. Surprised yet impressed, Du Jiyun exclaimed, Jiyun, you've grown stronger. Sook Jinho interrupted, it's too soon to celebrate. The opponent hasn't unleashed their full strength yet. Perplexed, Du Jiyun asked, what do you mean? Sook Jinho replied, it's just the beginning. Meanwhile, BM1 Gang's father watched from the crowd, gritting his teeth. Tisk, idiot, he muttered, his gaze icy and unforgiving. Sensing the gravity of the situation, BM1 Gang pondered, no, this won't do. If I were to be defeated by someone like him, and not even by Sook Jinho, I can't imagine what my father would say. I give you an inch, and you're already above the clouds. With a sinister curl of his lips, he unleashed a powerful, tearless strike that even startled Du Jiyun and shattered the ground instantly. Without hesitation, BM1 Gang charged again, delivering multiple strikes. However, Du Jiyun blocked each one, undeterred, engaging in a head-to-head competition. The battle raged on for several minutes. As Du Jiyun found himself momentarily taken aback, a figure in a purple robe appeared and remarked, I thought he was holding up well in the fight, but it's as expected since his opponent is a cut above him. Zhelong Meryung inquired, so what do we do? We can't spend our lives fighting only those weaker than us, can we? Sook Jinho suggested, the best option would be to retreat. But what if there's no chance to do so? Meanwhile, Du Jiyun continued to fight relentlessly, unleashing a fierce battle cry. Hiya, he exclaimed. But don't expect an easy victory. As he charged forward, he was caught off guard by BM1 Gang's unexpected counterattack, a vicious flesh-cleaving, bone-breaking strike aimed at his neck. Blood spurted from the wound, but despite the injury, Du Jiyun's determination remained unwavering. I won't yield to mere flesh wounds, he shouted defiantly. Witnessing Du Jiyun's unyielding resolve, BM1 Gang was taken aback. Why won't he give up? He muttered incredulously. While BM1 Gang was still contemplating, Du Jiyun seized the opportunity and retaliated, delivering a powerful strike to BM1 Gang's chest with his elbow. To break your bones, he declared. BM1 Gang staggered, blood streaming from his mouth as his sword fell to the ground. It was clear, Du Jiyun emerged victorious from the duel. Turning to face his defeated opponent, Du Jiyun proclaimed, the outcome is clear. Realizing his defeat, BM1 Gang couldn't fathom it. I've lost? To this nobody? He thought, panic rising within him. I can't become a laughingstock. With renewed determination, BM1 Gang retrieved his sword and assumed a menacing stance. It's not over yet, he roared. However, before he could launch another attack, Sook Jinho intervened, swiftly knocking BM1 Gang to the ground with bare hands. Now they're resorting to dirty tricks, Sook Jinho remarked. Like father, like son, I suppose. The scene unfolded so quickly that onlookers were left bewildered. What just happened? Did someone strike BM1 gang? They questioned in astonishment. It seems young Master Sook intervened somehow. Despite the confusion, they couldn't deny that BM1 gang was taken down in a single strike. Disgruntled, BM1 gang departed, commanding his people to fetch the young master. I'll make sure you regret this, he vowed bitterly, seething with anger towards the Sook family. As they left, the person in the purple robe affectionately embraced Sook Jinho, calling him a lucky charm. Sook Jinho acknowledged the praise, while Jalong Maryung and Nuna expressed their admiration and pride. Sook Jinho, modest as ever, downplayed his achievement, but Nuna insisted, "You were truly amazing." Suddenly, Du Jiyun approached from behind, expressing his gratitude towards young Master Sook. Sook Jinho humbly replied, "I'm simply repaying the kindness of the previous generation." Du Jiyun promised to visit once the escort agency was established, and with that, the conference concluded without further incident. Time passed, and Sook Jinho gradually adapted to his new life and the people around him. Before he knew it, he found himself celebrating his first birthday in his new body. As they prepared to leave, the manor master approached from behind, questioning, "Are you truly leaving?" Sook Jinho responded, "Didn't I make that clear earlier, manor master?" The manor master sighed, "So, you persist in refusing to call me father until the end." Sook Jinho retorted, "I thought you were occupied." The manor master persisted, "Even so, shouldn't a parent know where their child is going? I had to postpone everything and come here because you wouldn't inform me unless I asked." Sook Jinho explained, "I'm heading to the Yellow River in Habuk province. Fortunately, it's not too far. Nanny is from Habuk herself, and I thought it would be burdensome for her to travel far." The manor master retrieved an envelope, stating, "Take this. It's both a birthday gift and a token of support. I believe it will be most beneficial for you at this time. Don't feel obligated. I prepared it because I haven't been able to provide much until now. It's not about settling any debts." Sook Jinho accepted the envelope gratefully, expressing his thanks. The manor master inquired, "What are your plans once you reach the Yellow River?" Sook Jinho replied, "I don't have any grand plans. I'm simply considering starting a small martial arts academy." At the Heavenly Ascent Martial Academy. Jalong Maryung pondered, "Heavenly Ascent Martial Academy. Does that mean Yoon and I will become martial arts instructors?" Sook Jinho explained, "As long as you don't rush into seeking fame and recognition, that could indeed be the case." Jalong Maryung chuckled, "So should we stop calling you young master and start addressing you as principal?" Hyuk. Before he could finish his sentence, Darky arrived and playfully tapped him on the face. Sook Jinho intervened. Darky insisted on moving the luggage first. "We can sort out the titles later, all right?" Jalong Maryung nodded, wiping away his tears. "I understand." As they conversed, a person approached from behind and delivered a message to Sook Jinho. "The representative has sent a message for you," they said. "He mentioned that no matter what you do, you'll always need horses and carriages. He instructed us to leave you the horse and carriage you arrived in, along with his best wishes for the prosperity of the Heavenly Ascent Martial Academy." Sook Jinho expressed his gratitude. "Thank you. I'll make good use of them." Later, Nuna admired the surroundings and remarked, "This place is even better than I expected. Being by the sea feels so refreshing, like it opens up your heart." Sook Jinho smiled. "I'm glad you like it, Nanny. But we'll be much busier now. You'll have to oversee the entire martial arts academy, in addition to tending to the vegetable garden and raising livestock." Nuna assured him, "Just leave it to me." Sook Jinho responded, "I'll be counting on you then." "No, young master, how could I possibly accept such a responsibility?" Nuna protested. Sook Jinho handed her the bag of money, saying, "There's so much I have to do. You wouldn't leave me to handle this alone, would you?" Understanding his point, Nuna nodded, "I understand. I'll take good care of everything." Sook Jinho then suggested, "All right, let's finish tidying up quickly so we can rest." Yoon and Jalong Maryung affirmed, "Yes, young master." Later in the evening. Sook Jinho sighed, "I've never spent this much time in the market before." Yoon added, "It turns out there are more things we need than I expected. Perhaps it's because we only brought a few things with us." Sook Jinho acknowledged, "Still, thankfully they're taking care of the heavy luggage for us, and the livestock will be received separately tomorrow." Nuna interjected, "But what about dinner? Everyone must be getting hungry." Sook Jinho replied, There is a food smell coming from every alley, so we can grab a bite before going home. The tempting aroma of delicious food caught Zhalong Meryung's attention, and he exclaimed, "Young master, do you smell that? It's coming from there. It's mouth-watering." Suk Jinho acknowledged, that's right. The place looks rundown, though." Zhalong Meryung suggested, "Doesn't it smell incredibly tempting? Then, should we give it a try?" With that thought, they stepped in and witnessed two kids surrounded by a couple of bandits. "Huh? Seems like there's a fight," Zhalong Meryung remarked, concern in his voice. "What did they do to those children?" Suk Jinho intervened and urged him, "Step back." Then he addressed the bandits, stating, "We came here for a peaceful meal, but it seems like we've come at the wrong time." The leader of the bandits replied, "You're guests, I see. Then it's only right that we make way. Seeing the load you're carrying, you don't seem like mere travelers. Is this your first time coming to this place?" Suk Jinho replied, "We're new to this neighborhood as of today." The bandit leader suggested, "Then we'll be seeing each other often. How about we introduce ourselves? I am the man known as Chungeology from the Red Cliff sect." Suk Jinho introduced himself firmly. "I am Suk Jinho, principal of the Heavenly Ascent Martial Academy." Chungeology responded, "A person who lives by the sword, I see." Stepping forward, Suk Jinho asserted, "If there's nothing else, I'd appreciate it if you could step aside." Chungeology replied with a strange smile, "Well, of course. Let's go, kids. Our patron has to make every penny it can." As the bandits departed, Suk Jinho turned to the kids and asked, "Is the meal ready?" The girl nodded respectfully, "Of course. Please take a seat. Shall I serve 4 bowls of noodles?" Suk Jinho requested, "And a bit of meat for the cat here, please." She acknowledged, "Yes, right away." Then Suk Jinho called, "Meryung." Turning to Zhalong Meryung, he questioned with a firm tone, "Do you plan to step in every time something like this happens?" Upon hearing the scolding, Zhalong Meryung didn't dare to speak further. Suk Jinho continued, "Chivalry? That's admirable. It's a quality every martial artist should embody. But remember, once you draw your sword, outcomes may diverge from your intentions. If we had driven off those ruffians just now, they would likely return seeking vengeance against the siblings. So, do you plan to remain here, safeguarding them, intervening each time trouble arises? Or do you believe that assisting once absolves you of further responsibility?" Zhalong Meryung replied, "I hadn't considered that aspect." Suk Jinho clarified, "I'm not suggesting you tolerate every incident. If that were your approach, I wouldn't have instructed you in martial arts. But do remember, if you choose to intervene, do so decisively. Ensure you depart without lingering regrets." Zhalong Meryung acknowledged, "Yes, I understand." Yoon chimed in, "Indeed, young master." Suk Jinho remarked, "Furthermore, since I've disclosed my identity, there may be a lull in activity. They'll reveal their true intentions once they recognize who I am." Zhalong Meryung sneered, "So that's why you revealed your name." As expected of the principal, I, Zhalong Meryung, have learned yet another valuable lesson. A few moments later, the girl arrived with noodles, announcing, "The 4 servings of noodles are ready, along with the meat for the cat." Nuna admired the presentation of the noodles, saying, "Oh my, it's impressive to see such skill in someone so young." As they took their first bite, their eyes widened with delight at the delicious taste. The girl explained, "My grandma's the real deal, but she hasn't been able to come to the restaurant lately because she's not well." Noon exclaimed, "Oh my, this is good." Suk Jinho added, "We'll have to return when your grandmother recovers." Then he inquired, "Why were those men from earlier coming after you? Do you owe them money?" The girl replied, We used to run a small street stall. Then we saved up and took out a small loan to open this restaurant. But since my grandmother fell ill and we took some time off, we've been struggling a bit with this month's expenses." "Oh, my goodness. I shouldn't be burdening our guests with these stories. I should get going. Enjoy your meal," she concluded. They nodded in understanding, "We will." As she moved away, Suk Jinho pondered, a young pair of siblings and their sick grandmother. Their situation doesn't seem too promising. The establishment is modest, yet the flavor is enticing enough to draw attention. They likely sought to exploit the modest debt as a means to seize control of the entire business. And even after assuming ownership, they'd argue the debt remained unsettled, trapping the children in perpetual labor. They only tightened their grip enough to keep their victims subservient, That's the modus operandi of such thugs. For now, I'll observe how events unfold. After all, if things proceed as planned, those troublemakers will be dealt with in due course. Later, near the sea, Yoon paused during his vigorous practice beside the shore, accompanied by Jelong Maryung. As the tide surged, they leapt into the water, inadvertently causing trouble for Jelong Maryung. "Arg! Help! Help!" he cried out as Yoon rushed to his aid, cautioning, "Don't venture too deep, Maryung." Struggling, Jelong Maryung explained, "Balancing on sand is incredibly challenging, principal." Suk Jinho remarked, "It's all part of the training. There's no better way to strengthen your legs than on a sandy beach. For a first training session, this isn't too bad." A smile crept onto Maryung's face upon hearing those words as he asked, "Is that so?" Suk Jinho replied, "No need to get smug. Shall we wrap up and check the fish traps?" Maryung nodded in agreement, "Yes, principal," while Yoon affirmed, "Understood." "But, young master, is it truly acceptable for us to merely follow orders?" Maryung questioned. Suk Jinho countered, "What else would you do when you don't have any official responsibilities yet?" Maryung replied, "I'm not considering doing anything else. It just seems peculiar to treat searching for a good place to eat as an assignment, especially while the young master is still working hard in the water." Suk Jinho asserted, "Focus on your assigned tasks diligently. The work I handle isn't something you could manage, understand?" Both nodded in agreement, "Yes, we understand." "Let's reconvene in the evening," Suk Jinho suggested, watching them depart. Reflecting on the state of affairs within the martial arts academy, he mused, "With internal matters somewhat settled, it's time to address external concerns. While we have a decent sum of money, it's insufficient for sustained leisure. Moreover, generating income from the academy will take time. To ensure the academy's prosperity, groundwork is essential, hence the assignments for Yoon, Maryung, and the nanny. Until the academy can support itself, we require a temporary source of income. And that's precisely why I chose the Yellow River as our location," Suk Jinho explained. "Here, there are spiritual creatures that, when consumed, can enhance one's internal energy, and when sold, they can be converted into money. The most commonly encountered are creatures like the 50-year-old purple clams. There are rarer ones that are a century old, but finding anything older seems to require a stroke of luck. Wouldn't you agree?" "Ah, found it. This one is certainly distinct from the others," he exclaimed, observing keenly. "Its sharpness is impressive. It's so sensitive that it can detect my presence." "Thinking of fleeing?" "Not a chance," he mused confidently. "Judging by its color, it's not 1,000 years old. It seems to be about 500 years old. With this, it should be sufficient for me to complete a transformation stage." A few minutes later, as he took the shell from the surface and prepared to open it, he thought, "Time to start then." However, it proved challenging to open. "So, you mean you won't go down without a fight?" he mused. "It's commendable, but too bad you've met your match." With determination, he exerted more strength, and after a couple of seconds, he finally succeeded in opening it. Since it has been around for 500 years, spiritual energy must have permeated the flesh by now, he considered. But the true essence lies within this inner pill. "Then, itadakamasu," he said, invoking the customary phrase before a meal in Japan. "It feels like the sea just before the storm," he described. "Wild, uncontrollable, thrashing about like rough waves. But no matter how violent the surface waves may be, beneath the sea remains calm." Drawing upon the true chi of the chaotic origin heavenly thunder divine art to his chi center, he continued, "And as the energy of the inner pill extends into the 8 extraordinary meridians, and circulating through the 3 major meridians of the whole body, the chaotic origin heavenly thunder chi, having absorbed the energy of the inner pill, begins to pulsate through the conception and governing vessels. 10 times, 100 times, until finally, the final barrier is breached. Finally, when the conception and governing vessels are fully stimulated, at last, the stage of complete transformation. Phew. It took about 2 hours, I guess. It's different. I managed to regain at least half of the prowess from my past life. My internal energy may be lacking, but there's ample time to fill it." Later, at the Heavenly Ascent Martial Academy. As Suk Jinho entered, Jelong Maryung remarked, "Principal, you've arrived quite late today." Suk Jinho acknowledged, "Indeed. I've been delayed a bit." Nuna chimed in, "The night sea can be perilous, so please don't stay out too late." Suk Jinho smiled, Nanny is still worrying about me, it seems. Curiously, Zhalong Mariang asked, but what's with these clams? I've never seen such large ones before. Suk Jinho nodded. Ah, yes, prepare it for dinner tonight. Zhalong Mariang nodded in agreement. Yes. Nuna added, I'll prepare some side dishes to go with it. Zhalong Mariang gave a small piece to Darky, saying, this one's for you. However, Darky struggled to open it. Meow. Meow. Suk Jinho suggested, it might not open easily. Why not try using your internal energy if you're having trouble? Darky, becoming increasingly frustrated, let out a loud meow, meadow. Suk Jinho sighed. Seriously, a stubborn little thing. Finally, after several attempts, Darky managed to open the shell and consumed it peacefully, mew. Suk Jinho nodded with a smirk. Yeah, all right, all right. Then, Zhalong Mariang said, Principal, everything is ready. Suk Jinho replied, all right, I'll be there. A few minutes later, after finishing their meal, Zhalong Mariang exclaimed, Ugh, I feel like I'm going to burst. Why does this clam taste so delicious? I've been to many popular eateries lately, but I've never tasted anything like this. Suk Jinho explained, it's not an ordinary clam. Yoon interjected, but I must say, I've never seen such a large one either. As I eat, I feel a subtle warmth in my stomach. Zhalong Mariang inquired, do you feel it too? My stomach also feels somewhat strange. Yoon nodded, right? It's like there's warmth emanating from inside the body. Suk Jinho advised, once you've finished eating, go inside and circulate your qi. Then you'll know for sure. The two exchanged a glance, pondering, could it be? Suk Jinho clarified, it's not what you're thinking. But these clams are at least 50 years old, so they should have some effect. Nuna interjected, are the ones you left in the backyard meant for the young master to eat later? Suk Jinho replied, those are for something else. Curious, Nuna asked, something else. Suk Jinho confirmed, yes, I'm planning to start a business. Nuna was intrigued, a business. You mean you're going to sell them yourself? Suk Jinho replied, why would I sell them myself when there are people who can sell them much better than I can? The very next day, as the two were practicing their martial arts and Nuna was tending to the little chicks, Suk Jinho arrived and remarked, looks like everyone got up early today. The three greeted, good morning, young master. Suk Jinho asked, how about it, Nanny? Do you feel any better after yesterday's meal? Nuna replied, yes, young master. I've never woken up feeling this refreshed. Suk Jinho said, well, since I helped channel the energy with a massage, perhaps you've absorbed it better than Yoon and Mariang. Nuna asked, we're expecting a guest today, right? Yoon inquired, guest? Who's coming? At that moment, the sound of the horse's footsteps approached. Suk Jinho remarked, speak of the tiger and it shows up. The servant informed, young miss, we've arrived. It was Suk Miryong who stepped out from the carriage and asked, have you been well, my little brother? Suk Jinho warmly welcomed, it's been a while. Did you have any trouble coming here? Suk Miryong replied, it wasn't a long trip. More importantly, since this isn't a Suk family manor, maybe we could speak more informally. Suk Jinho considered, should we? Perhaps calling you Noon would suffice. Suk Miryong retorted, nonsense. How much older do you think I am? Just go with Nuna. Suk Jinho smiled, fine, I'll do that. As they walked further, Suk Miryong asked, but what's the reason for seeking me out so suddenly? Though it was nice to receive the first letter ever sent by my little brother. Did you start missing your Nuna after moving out? Suk Jinho replied, it's not that. I just wanted to discuss some business with you, Nuna.